Hi readers, today our lesson is called Readers Sound Like Grown-Up Readers by Rereading Familiar Books. So today I'm going to teach you how to become a really strong reader and to sound like a storyteller. It's important to go back and reread books you've read before, books that are familiar to you. So I have a little pile of books here in my lap. They are here because these books happen to be books that I've read many times, so many times that I can't even tell you the number of times. Readers do that all the time. They reread books they've read before. I bet that you might even have a book at home or at your grandma's house that your mom or dad or grandma has read to you many, many times. This book here is called I Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. It was actually given to me by my parents. It's about a little boy growing up, and his mom always tucks him into bed at night and says, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Now, I don't even have to open the book in order to reread that to you, because I've read this book so many times, I know the words off by heart. It's like knowing the words to a favorite song. You hear that song so many times that when you hear it, you just start singing it. One of the great things about reading familiar books is that we as readers get a chance to sound like storytellers. Storytellers are readers that make their voices go a little bit faster, that sound like the characters, that make their voices loud in places with lots of action, or make their voices sound scary when they read a scary part. When readers read familiar books, they can sound like storytellers. And you can sound like a storyteller while you read, too. So your learning destination. Today I want to teach you how you can reread your familiar books and sound like a storyteller. Storytellers are readers that make their voices go a little bit faster, make their voices sound scared, make their voices sound like the characters, or make their voices loud in parts with lots of action. You can read like a storyteller too. But to practice, you want to use books that you're familiar with, books that you've read before. So I have another book here called One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Now, Dr. Seuss, his books are not easy to read. They have all kinds of tricky, made-up Dr. Seuss kind of words. But there's also a rhythm and a rhyme. So you really have to watch for all the punctuation, for the periods and the commas. I remember the first time I read it, I thought, this is not easy. It doesn't sound right. I actually practiced it a few times before I ever read it to my class. But now that it's familiar, I read it with no trouble at all. In fact, there are parts I just know without even looking at the words. I'm going to read a little bit to you right now. See if you can think about what is making me sound like a storyteller as I read? Is it my volume, my facial expressions? One fish, two fish. Red fish, blue fish. One fish, two fish. Red fish, blue fish. Black fish, blue fish. Old fish, new fish. This one has a little star. This one has a little car. Say, what a lot of fish they are. Yes, some are red and some are blue. Some are old and some are new. Some are sad and some are glad. Some are very, very bad. Why are they sad and glad and bad? I do not know. Go ask your dad. So you'll notice as I read that book, my voice changed a lot. I sounded like a storyteller. Again, I was able to do that because that book is familiar to me. I've read that book many times. So readers today, I want you to practice sounding like a storyteller. You will log into RazKids or Epic Books. You will read the title, maybe even turn to a few pages to remind yourself a little as to how familiar you are with that book. And then, as you read, see if you can push yourself to sound like a storyteller. So choose a book on RazKids or Epic that you've read before, a book that you can really focus on sounding like a storyteller. So today, we are listening to ourselves rereading our familiar books, sounding like our mums and dads and teachers. We are practicing sounding like storytellers as much as possible because those books should be familiar to us. Off you go. Good luck.